Hi, cat. Come and get some mango, baby.
One, two, 1, 2, 3. Self-awareness is a superpower. My name is KathyLaDonna. Welcome to Soul and Vibration. I hope the free thinkers are doing well. And if you're not doing well, I'm happy to remind you that you are the most powerful person that you know. You are the most powerful person that you know because only you can create your reality. Hey guys, today is Saturday, Saturn Day, August 26th, and the energies in the day adds up and reduce the number 5 vibration. If today is your birthday, happy birthday. So when it comes to the spirit animal, we are working with the mouse energy. I don't know why. What's coming to mind is the saying something about a church mouse, like tiptoeing, caution. Caution is what I'm getting when it comes to the mouse as a spirit animal. Something about caution today. I look at how the day adds up and reduces the number 5 vibration. And whenever the number 5 is present, like say if you're a life path 5, birthday number 5, you can relate or understand more than anyone the importance of needing change, the importance of being flexible, needing to travel, whether you're traveling through your experiences or you're literally traveling. I think about how 5 people are good communicators, good when it comes to sales, because the number 5 is a storytelling energy. These people could talk to anyone, sell, what they say, sell salt to a snail. That's that number 5 energy. I think about the deceptive aspect of the number 5 energy though, because of the storytelling aspect of it. And a person could tell such a good story that it touches us emotionally. And from us being touched emotionally, this is where we make decisions that we could, later regret. And I think about how the mouse energy sometimes could tie into manipulation and deception. So far with the mouse energy and the number 5, 2 things is coming up. The first thing that's coming up is the need to take your time when it comes to something today. Take your time when it comes to something today. It's like approach something with caution. And then the next thing with the mouse energy is to be aware of being sold. Like, be careful of being sold. It's so easy to be sold today and don't even know you were sold. Sold on something is what I'm getting with the mouse energy showing up as a spirit animal. But more than anything though, I'm getting caution. Caution, not to worry, but caution as in taking your time moving forward on things. Because with the day adding up and reducing to number 5 vibration, most of the time, 5 days never go as planned. Just pay attention. 5 days never go as planned because the day starts off one way and by the end of the day, it's like, damn, you might find that, you did a few things, you had some experiences, but it didn't go as planned. And this is a day where, you want to be flexible and open. But the number 5 is also a very lucky energy because imagine we're like in this matrix and everything is in a repetitive cycle. To me, the number 5 is that glitch that happens where something comes in that's out of place. Something comes in that's unexpected. So there is a lot of benefits and opportunities that's associated with the number 5 energy. I think about how magic happens through chaos. And with the number 5 energy, the number 5 energy can reflect chaos sometimes. So when it comes to the energies in today, it's important to be flexible. It's like being like a palm tree today. You want to be flexible. I think about how in a storm, a palm tree is able to bend so far and not break and then, stand right back up. So on a day like today, be flexible in the sense that, say you're meeting up with friends, or you're meeting up with friends and someone's running late. Be flexible. You know, you're running late. Let people know you're running late. Just be flexible, because things won't always go exactly as planned within a 5-day. But I feel like it works out the way it's supposed to. Is how I see it. The moon is in. Before I get to the moon, let's see. Ooh, this card wants to jump out. Okay, interesting. So with the Magician coming out with the Mouse energy, the Magician in the reversal position, to me, two things with the Magician in the reversal position, but because I'm reading it with the Mouse energy and the day adding up and reducing to the number 5, the first thing with the Magician energy, okay, so in the upright position, the Magician card deals with number 1. The Magician is the beginning, but when you look at the card, look at how the Magician has all of the elements present. There is the Cup that deals with emotions, and there's the Swords that deals with the mind. There's the Pentacle that deals with practical energy. There's the Wand that deals with fire. So it's like all of the elements are there. Everything is present that's necessary in order to make magic. You know, we need all of the elements in order to make magic, and they're present. With it in the reversal position, one thing that the Magician card in the reversal position says to me is someone underestimating themselves, feeling unprepared, or actually being unprepared for real. So in one situation today, you know, you might find you're projected into something that you're not prepared for. You're completely unprepared for what's happening. You need more, just unprepared for what's happening or what's present. Or in the reversal position, to me, the Magician can also deal with deception. I feel like in the upright position, I think of like the Magician energy as us using our powers for good. In the reversal position, tied with the Mouse energy, and how the Mouse energy could be known as being deceptive, I think of someone not being completely honest. Because my spirit guides have used the Mouse energy in my dream before to show me that, you know, someone wasn't honest. Someone wasn't honest. It's like before meeting people sometimes, you know, I'll dream about them, and some of you could relate to having the same experience. And, you know, before meeting this person, you know, I had a dream about them, and they showed up as a big fat rat or maybe a mouse. And the dream was I didn't know what the dream was trying to show me, but I was aware of the dream. I kept the dream in mind. And that's the thing to me with intuition, where it's like I'll intuitively feel something or pick up something or have a dream or premonition. And when I have it, I put it in my mind, and I'm aware of it. But then I patiently allow physical things to help confirm and let me know exactly what the dream is trying to show me. So, you know, over time, you know, the dream showed me that, yes, this person's a good person, but at the same time, this person, because of their insecurities, they're not honest with themselves. So because of that, they're not able to be honest with other people. So with the Mouse coming up and the Magician in the reversal position, that's what I'm getting today. You might find that you're dealing with, you know, someone who is not honest with themselves. So because of that, they're not able to be honest with other people. And with the number 5 vibration, the day adding up and reducing to the number 5, that's a lower frequency of the number 5. You know, where storytelling, you know, a person feels the need to speak to where they start telling lies, they start telling stories, the need to make themselves seem, you know, bigger than what they actually are is something that's coming up today. So I get the feeling to be careful of the silver tongue. You know, it's like the silver tongue, something is coming to mind, something about like someone having the gift of gab, and being careful that you're not sold. And when I say sold, this could be with a family member. Someone convince you of something, you know, pull a wool over your eye and convince you of something, and you're convinced and you're sold because for whatever reason, there's something within you that wants to believe the story they're telling. Because I personally believe that people cannot manipulate us without our permission, because we all have the gift of intuition. We all have instincts. It's just a matter of whether we nurture it and let it grow and learn to trust it, or we dismiss it. But the day is the 26th. The number 2 is nurturing and it's caring. The number 6 is family oriented and community energy. 2 plus 6 is 8. The number 8 deals with control, power struggles. The number 8 also deals with finances. So this is where somebody might get you to spend where you didn't plan on spending. Or, you know, someone might get you to commit to something and you didn't fully think things through and you commit on a whim and you're like, damn, you know, now I got to find a way up out of this, or, you know, stuck with the responsibilities of that. So you want to proceed with caution today. The moon is in Capricorn. And with the moon in Capricorn, I can see how some of us could easily jump into commitments. Because the moon is in a place where we feel a sense of responsibility for everything and everyone. If you have your moon in Capricorn or you have a 10th house moon, you might be able to relate to that feeling on the inside of yourself of wanting to become really successful so you can take care of your family and everyone around you, because for whatever reason you felt like the torch has been given to you and it is your responsibility to come up and take care of everyone. But the lower frequency of that is where we could find ourselves experiencing depression and procrastination, because we feel so overwhelmed based on the responsibility. We feel so overwhelmed to the point that we never get anything started. And then from never getting anything started, it only makes us feel worse over time. So the moon is in a place where, yeah, it's easy for us to take on things that, you know, we have no business. And when it comes to, say, Capricorn energy and responsibility, or even 10th house energy and responsibility, I've come to the realization that, you know, it is not our responsibility to respond to things that we don't have the ability to respond to. So let me say that again. It is not your responsibility to respond to things you don't have the ability to respond to. I think about me, myself, and how I'm someone who's big into like conspiracy type theories and things like that. Where to me, like, you know, I've learned that the government, not the government, but I think it's the CIA or FBI, whoever, one of the 3-letter boys they call them, came up with the word as a way to discredit people whenever they would speak against them. So it was almost like a form of gaslighting, where we all see something as only a conspiracy for a certain amount of time until we're then given permission to see something as fact, even when some of us have real eyes to see the truth. So even though I'm big on things like that, and I'm also big on certain spiritual things on a, like, really deeply, and I don't speak about them here, and I guess maybe later on I will when I feel comfortable. But even though, you know, I'm big into certain conspiracy topics and things like that, I remember, like, say during 2020 lockdown and stuff like that, I felt myself feeling the need to speak on certain things. But then I realized whenever I would want to speak on those things, the frequency and where it would take me to speak on those things, it would take me to a negative place. I didn't like the way it made me feel. And I came to the realization that, like, there's a way to empower and to speak on those things without even speaking on them, in the sense that I feel like if I remind people and encourage them to think, that's why I always talk about I hope the free thinkers are doing well, because I feel like we'll mess around and think for ourselves and save our own lives. So instead of me focusing on all the different things that's going on in the world and what this one's doing from what they're not doing and how they're trying to control from how they're not, it's like I'll get exhausted with all of that. But instead, if I focus and keep speaking about the importance of self-awareness and speaking for ourselves, I feel like a person who is self-aware, who thinks for themselves, can save their own lives, you know, can create their own reality, like I said. So I had to come to the realization that I have the ability to respond to certain things, and I don't have the ability to respond to certain things. So my responsibility is what I have the ability to respond to. So this is where it's important for us to know ourselves, because some of us put ourselves in positions that we don't have the strength to handle. We don't have the ability to respond to that. Where I think about the person who has the ability to get on here and, and speak on certain things and present certain things. They have the ability to do that, where even if no one was listening, that's what they would be doing. You know what I mean? And in the process of them doing that, like, they're not tearing themselves down doing that. Where for me, I realized that I was tearing myself down trying to speak on certain things. And so what if I was to come on here and tell you about this, that, the government's doing this and that and the next and this, that, and the next, like, so what? Like, people listen, they're entertained, and then they go back to eating their dinners. They go back to, to scrolling, keep scrolling. So instead, like, respond, what is your responsibility? What is within your ability to respond? In that way, you are being you, you're doing you, you're operating in alignment with your truth. If someone finds truth in it and they're able to, apply it to their reality and benefit themselves, great. If it's entertaining and they keep pushing, great. But to me, when we take on things that aren't our responsibility, this is where we're sacrificing ourselves and no one benefits, because that's not even in our alignment with our truth anyways. So today might be a great day for you to ask yourself, what am I responding to that isn't within my ability to respond to? What kind of responsibilities are you taking on today that isn't your responsibility? What kind of responsibilities are you taking on that aren't your responsibility, that you don't have the ability to respond to? And because you don't have the ability to respond to it, you find yourself stressed out, overwhelmed, or even sick because you're taking on things that just isn't your business. I think about when they say mind the business that pays you. Like, that's something to consider today. But the moon in Capricorn is a part of a T-square between Neptune and Mars and Mercury and Virgo. So with the square being made to the moon, brings me to the importance of reflection, introspection, time alone, and then paying attention to the detail. You want to pay attention to the detail. You want to pay attention to the what do you call it? Not the repetition of a thing. Paying attention to the patterns. Pay attention to the patterns. Like, say with myself personally, the way how I'm able to understand certain things about myself. I notice certain patterns that show up where some of us will have the same thing keeps happening, same patterns keep happening with different people. And it's easy for one person to say it's everybody else's fault. But I feel like a really strong and powerful person will look into themselves and say, okay, what is it with me? What can I do? Because I remember when I had the salon and I was working with other people who worked with me in the salon, or even if it was an interaction with a client, whenever something went wrong, I would always turn it back around on me. Not saying that I'm beating myself up when something goes wrong, but as the boss, as the person who is in charge, like, if something goes wrong, that's because there's something unclear or something that needs to be addressed with the way how things are. So say, for example, if something went wrong with scheduling, where I would have people who would book and not show up. It's like they're the ones who's not showing up, but at the same time, I'm the one who's in charge. So it shows that my system is flawed in some way. So that's when I started implementing, people paying a deposit before they book, and agreeing, when they pay their deposit, that this deposit is going to go towards your service. If you're late for your appointment, over a certain amount of time late, then the money from this deposit will be deducted and go towards you being late. And if you're over a certain amount of time being late, you completely lose your deposit. So from that agreement, people started showing up on time for their appointments because they don't want to lose any parts of their deposit. They want all of that to go towards, their service. So every time something went wrong, it was an opportunity for me to reflect within myself to see what was wrong with my system. I feel like that's what a real boss does. But, So when it comes to say today, like, you know, reflect, what are you taking responsibility for that isn't your responsibility? Or what's going wrong within you, within your life, or within the systems within your life? And how can you reflect and see, like, what can you do different? You know, because to me, we're all bosses of ourselves. You know, we're all bosses of ourselves. And if we don't take on that position to be the boss of ourselves, and someone else will step in and gladly be the boss of us and gladly put us to work to make their dreams come true. But if you don't want that and you want to materialize your dreams, focus on your goals, focus on, you know, creating this amazing experience and live life according to your own terms, then that's where you got to step up and be the boss within you. And I feel like a big part of being, you know, being our own boss, and I don't mean working for yourself, but being the boss of you, is number one, accountability. It's like accountability, meaning if it's going to be, it's up to me. So accountability says that, what is my role in this? What is my role in this? So even though it's the clients that are, you know, not showing up for their appointments on time and whatnot, I'm accountable knowing that I have a role in it. And maybe my role is that the system that I'm presenting is flawed and I need to present a better system. So for me, you know, accountability doesn't always mean that you're beating yourself up. Accountability means that, you know, if something is affecting you, you have a role in it. What is your role in it? What is your role in it? That's a question to ask today. What is your role in what's happening, and what changes can you make in order to create more peace? And sometimes our role in things and the changes that we could make might just be a change in perspective. You know, choosing to see something in a different way, choosing to see things in a way that empowers us instead of focusing on the worst. You guys, such a pleasure sharing this message with you as usual. If you'd like to book a natal chart reading with me or check out my exclusive content only on Patreon, the links for that is in the description box below. But first, please let me know you're here with me by dropping me a blue heart in the comment box below. I would love to hear from you and look forward to seeing you tomorrow. Love yourself as if your life depended on it, because it does. Take care of yourself, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video.